We are Team 6, and the idea we came up with is GigAtlas, your music mapped to the perfect stage. Tour planning is often stressful, time-consuming, and expensive for the independent artists. So we created GigAtlas to help artists plan the most efficient, cost-effective, and fan-focused tours by integrating fan data with travel. Our process is to identify superfan locations using Chartmetric and Luminate, refine locations with Songkick, and optimize routes based on lodging and gas prices.
Sorry. So as for the first step to identify the ideal tour city, we use artist data from Illuminate and Chartmetric and develop a city index that helps to determine which cities hold the most potential. And you can see that the variety of the metrics that we use at the bottom of the right.
The second step is to identify the ideal venues for the artists. And to come up with a draft for this, we used the data from Songkick. And then in Excel, we did a couple of VLOOKUPs based on venue availability, the artist's genre, and their top 10 locations on Chartmetric. And we VLOOKUP that in to find availability for the venues that we think they'd be most suited towards.
So the next step is obviously the planning, the logistics part. So the data sources were the Google Maps API to find the shortest driving distance between venues and optimizing the tour route to minimize unnecessary miles. We web scraped the AAA gas prices to track real-time gas prices per state, estimating the full cost for the entire tour based on the vehicle mileage. And lastly, we scraped booking.com to extract hotel listing near each tour stop. Filters were based on price range and availability. The next step will show you, the next slide will show you a live demo of how the app actually works. The first tab is finding your fans. After you get your top 10 cities, you can go into the venue finder and it will populate available venues in those cities. At the bottom, there is also the optimized tour route that gets automatically generated. The last tab is the second to last tab is the tour route sort of. And what that shows you is the distance between each of the locations. If you hover over it, it will also tell you the gas cost between each of the venues. And the last one is the finding the hotel near your tour cities. It also has a sliding price range. So as you, depending on the artist budget, you'll be able to say which locations you'll be able to see list of hotels, and it also directly integrates the booking link that will take you directly to the booking website.
What makes GigAtlas unique is that no other A&R tool combines fan data with travel logistics or allows the artist to automate and scale tour planning based on a budget. For example, a 10-day tour booked by a manager and agent can cost up to $10,000, but with GigAtlas, artists can streamline the process and costs using data-driven insights. Best of all, a functioning version can be built in just 24 hours using the existing APIs, making an efficient tour planning more accessible than ever.
Once we go live with a subscription model that allows artists to try the tool with 2 to 3 of their top cities, we are planning to add merch management to further boost artist profitability along their tour. We also hope to make the algorithm even smarter by adding data sources such as Shazam, Genius, and Polestar. And finally, we plan to add functionality for collaborative tours as well as the option to input a vehicle type for the most accurate gas cost calculations. With GigAtlas, artists can spend less time planning and more time performing, making every tour accessible and impactful. Thank you for your time, and we're happy to take your questions.
Excellent job, guys. You guys did your entire presentation in 4 minutes. That's amazing. So with that, our judges, go ahead and raise your hands so we can get some questions in. All right. Oh, there we go. Farrar, go for it.
Hey guys, thank you so much. I'm always blown away by these presentations, so really well done. I had one question. I know it was limited time, but I was curious if you had a chance to do any hypothetical projections or estimates in terms of like a case study of what the impact could be in terms of revenue gained or cost saved by using GigAtlas. I appreciate the the average number of what something could cost, but just wondering if, yeah, you had any further insights there, even if that's just a percentage estimate.
Yeah, so we unfortunately weren't able to create a predictive model, but the plan was to use time series modeling to take into the gas prices and hotel prices over time to estimate how much it would cost. Obviously, data from Polestar is behind a paywall, so we weren't able to get data on venue costing, as well as like how much an artist generally spends on these kind of tours, specifically an independent artist. But if we had access to that kind of data, the plan is to create a predictive model that will spit out numbers depending three different ranges that will tell them which they could choose from. And then it'll also automatically tell them hotels and routes they could take based off of that.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Emma, go ahead.
Yeah, really, really great presentation. Super unique idea. I think my main question was when you were looking at the followers and the audience, like, did you have conversations about which audience you would take into account there, or maybe different weights that you would apply to different audiences?
So I can take that question. So we were trying to explore a lot of different the data points that we can kind of like define what's the fan engagement and everything. But if we are like being a little bit more transparency with it, we decided these metrics based on the knowledge that we have about and the industry that we know of it, and also a lot of the metrics that we decided to use is more based on like the social media or like DSP, because we believe that these are the more very interactively engaging a lot, so and much easier to understand. So these are the metrics that we use for this particular projects, but we definitely think that we can incorporate different area of the data points, which we truly believe that it will bring more like accuracy when it comes to like the finding the potential tour sites.
Awesome, thank you. We have time for just one more. Fiona, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quickie. I love this and it's so needed. I think my question really is about the venue data, which I believe you're getting from Songkick. But what about some of those slightly quirky off the road venues that are maybe not the standard places, but also quite important for artists? How are you going to try and keep up to date and incorporate those venues that are perhaps not on the kind of the main site?
Yeah, absolutely. Love that question. Because in an ideal world, what we would do is have one data stream coming in from different APIs from Songkick, Ticketmaster, and such to get that kind of information. But on the other side, scraping social media data to find newer venues that get populated both from Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you name it, just to get these kind of venue names and have a database, create a data warehouse that will run either monthly or if feasible, bi-weekly to grab newer venues with these kind of venue information. If this was an ideal world, we would also have like a customer representation team that can also communicate with these venues to get that kind of data from them as well.
Thank you.
Incredible. Thank you